All right, I'm going to talk a little bit about who inspired me. This topic is always so hard for me because there's so many influential people in my life, ranging from my mom, my grandma, my beautiful wife. But since we're talking about coaching, um, I would say the first person who inspired me would be Coach K. Al. She was my college coach, so I actually met Coach Al going into the sixth grade. I'm at one of her basketball camps, and just who she was as a person, her persona, how genuine she was, so on and so forth. I mean, some people may say it was her. She was genuine because of her interest in me to recruit me because I was very talented. But I've heard so many stories of how she was with any and everybody, and it could be a person she did not even know who would come into, she would come into contact with, and they'll just ask to have a word. And she would stop what she was doing and give them a word. And she was the same way with the president of the universities down to the janitors. And hearing those acts of humility really, really inspired me even more other than just being a phenomenal basketball coach. And I tell everybody the thing that I remember about Coach Al the most, it has nothing to do with basketball at all, uh, especially when it comes to strategy as far as X's and O's and that kind of thing. And did she run the greatest defense in the ACC or the best offense, so on and so forth? I have no clue because that's not what inspired me when it came to Coach Al, and actually, it's not what inspired me. Her basketball expertise is not what inspired me to be a coach. Like I said, it was her humility as a person, her inspiration, her ability to see young women and help them be the best that they were. That is what inspired me to coach. Um, and so for me, I plan to pay that forward right now in what I do as a college coach, and hopefully I'm doing that. And one of the things that I always remember about Coach Al is her. She always used to tell us, people don't care what you know unless they know you care. Well, until they know you care. And I really, really think that's really, really. I really find that to be true in everything that I've done so far, especially coaching. And so I really try to model my philosophies and put my own little spin for my own personal personality. But I do model my philosophy after what I've learned from her as a coach. Things I did like, things I did not like. I modeled that from her and my experiences at NC State. And so I would definitely say my philosophy is modeled after Coach Al, and she is someone who definitely inspired me. Just being at NC State my senior year and my freshman year when her cancer came back both times. My senior year probably being the most influential, and because I was at a point where I understood it a little better, and I saw her fight it the first time and everything that she had to go through, and just her perseverance, her faith through it all, and just the way she handled it and the way she went about it was just very, very inspirational. And I was lucky enough to understand what I was going through in the moment and to gain something from it. And so for me, Coach Al would definitely be my biggest inspiration in terms of coaching and why I coach. And I definitely cannot go without saying how my assistant coach, my freshman year, Coach Johnny Harris, was a huge inspiration for me as well. If it wasn't for her, as a freshman, you come in and it's such a huge learning process, so on and so forth. But it never really crosses your mind. Well, it didn't for me. It never crossed my mind that I couldn't be great. And she reminded me of how great I was, and just really kept my confidence up my freshman year, and that allowed me to be free and have one of my best years um, in collegiate basketball was my freshman year, and I definitely have to thank her. And so I would say I model my coaching philosophy after Coach Al, and I model my coaching style after Coach Johnny Harris. And so not only is Coach Harris like the coolest coach I've ever had in life, she just had a way with humanizing herself. And that allowed you to open up, that allowed you to be comfortable. Um, and she was just like a big auntie away from home, and so I really, really appreciate that. And she was still very much about her business and about making you better on the court and off the court. And on top of that, she was like the best recruiter. She is the best recruiter in my opinion. She's the best recruiter in women's basketball, especially right now. I mean, she brought in the number one recruit to North Carolina State in the country, And it's not like we were a Tennessee or a UConn at the time. We weren't even ranked. But she about the number one. Our class was top 15 in the nation, top 10, top 15, in the nation. She went to University of Texas A&M and won a national championship. After that, she went to Mississippi State as associate head coach, and she, the first year they got there, that they took over a team who was the bottom of the SEC. Now, within like 2 years, they're ranked in the top 25 with like one of the nation's leading scorers. You don't do that without a great recruiter. And without a great coach who knows how to build a relationship with your players. And that is really who I model my coaching style after. I definitely model my coaching philosophies after Coach Al. And so I would love actually I'm trying to get with Coach Harris now and talk to her more and kind of pick her brain. Because for me, honestly, she would probably be the second person who influenced me in coaching, in college coaching, I should say, because I can definitely not leave out my middle school and high school coaches who are very instrumental in the foundation of me being the player that I was and the person that I am, with discipline, hard work, those type of things. And so for me, that's my inspiration, Coach K.L. of North Carolina State University and Coach Johnny Harris, who's actually the associate head coach now at Mississippi State. So, Coach Al, thank you. May you rest in peace. Coach Harris, thank you, and I look forward to learning more from you on this journey.